Good evening, everyone. Baseball and softball regionals began and concluded today around the state of Michigan. The Escanaba Eskimo softball team was one of those teams in action in the lower peninsula. They faced the Whitehall Vikings in the semifinal matchup. Several Eskimo hitters had terrific performances. Here is JJ Lavalette. She gets the base hit, and that was one of her 4 hits during the region tournament. Another Eskimo that was swinging the bat well was Emily Brunginge. She gets a base knock here, and yes, that's one of her 7 hits during the tournament. Then in the third, with the game tied at 2, it's Kayla Van Portfleet with a base hit that the center fielder cannot corral. 1 run would score. Van Portfleet, she's going to round second and come to third, and she's going to do this like belly flop thing, but reach, she's safe. Ball goes in the dugout. Van Portfleet is allowed to score. It's 4-2 Eskimos. Escanaba wins 13-3 to advance to the region final, and spoiler alert, here's a shot from that. Taylor Wraith facing off with Kaylee Piper in the championship game. Piper goes down swinging. So how do we get there? Let's check the scoreboards. On to this in the other D2 semifinal. Muskegon Oak Ridge defeated Cadillac 1-0. Escanaba defeated Muskegon Oak Ridge, and that meant it was 10-6 in that game for a victory for the Escanaba Eskimos. They take on Saginaw Swan Valley on Tuesday at 2 p.m. in the state quarterfinal from Saginaw Valley State. Division III softball at Charlevoix, regional semifinal with Kalkaska and Gladstone. Bottom of the 4th, Gladstone trails 3-1 until Tassi Martinez unloads on this one, and it's going to go over the fence for a solo dinger, bringing the Braves within a 3-2 margin. Martinez's 9th homer of the season. Bottom of the 5th, Alyssa Pauley. She bunts. Blazers can't make the play at the plate in time. Taylor Hunter scores. The game is tied at 3. 2 batters later, it would be Morgan Kowalski. She's going to softly line one to right field. Here comes Pauley around third. Coach Ashley Hughes knows she's safe on the RBI single by Kowalski. It's 4-3 Gladstone. On to the bottom of the 6th, Taylor Hunter with a single to center field. Caitlin Hardwick sprints home. It's 6-3 Gladstone. A short time later, Caitlin Holden smacked one to the fence. Taylor Hunter would speed around to make it 8-3 Braves. Kalkaska's Kenzie Wilkinson did smash a 3-run homer in the top of the 7th, but Jenna Steinhoff settled down and retired the next 3 batters to post an 8-6 win. And to the scoreboards, D3 regional semifinal action. Boyne City on the other side of that, they defeated Traverse City St. Francis 6-4. That set up a Gladstone-Boyne City final with the Braves capturing the region championship after a 6-1 victory. The Braves, they'll face off with Manistee in the state quarterfinals on Tuesday at 12 p.m. In Division IV, Indian River Inland Lakes defeated Newberry 2-1 in 10 innings. The other semifinal had a UP matchup of Norway and Rudyard. Norway, they brought Harley Castor to the mound in the game, and in the top half of the first, it was 3 pitches, 3 outs for the Knights. Great defensive play there. Rudyard's defense, they were shining early on as well. Runners on second and third for the Knights, but Britta Gravold, she grounds to Bailey Van Sloten, and the Bulldogs get out with no damage. Into the bottom of the 2nd, though, the Knights break the stalemate. Carly, they call her Stick Stankina with a well-placed bunt, and the catcher overthrows first, allowing Jordan Kramer to score 1-0 Knights. The Knights, they go on to win this one by a final score of 11-1 to punch their ticket over Rudyard. And this was what it was all about between the Knights and the Inland Lake Bulldogs. 2 Bulldog matchups, right? Top of the 1st inning, and check out the catch by Inland Lake's catcher Pamela Braun behind the plate for the out. The Bulldogs defense wasn't done there, though. After pitching a marathon game in Game 1, Chloe Mallory is back at it in Game 2, striking out Ada Van Holla to keep the game scoreless. Top of the 3rd inning, the Knights would get on the board first. Bobby Hulse with a smack to the fence out in left center. That would allow Jada Lasser to score. Hulse stops at third with a stand-up triple, and the Knights of Norway lead 1-0. However, 2 home runs in the 6th made it 3-1, and the Indian River Inland Lakes go on to beat the Norway Knights 3-1. In Division I, Marquette reached the regional final against Midland. Great play by the Redette pitcher Chelsea Wiggins to get out on the bunt, but the Chemics already were in a major lead. In the 5th inning, Lindsay Reba would ground to second. She's safe after the bobble. Rachel Schwann scores, but that would be the only Marquette run. Midland, they win the region title 7-1. Marquette did win their first game 3-0. How about back to Charlevoix for Division III baseball regional semifinal between Gladstone and Kalkaska. Top of the 1st, after having a runner thrown out the plate, Ben Schwalbach pulls one down the 3rd base line. Tyson Seymour dashes home with the game's first run on the double. It's 1-0 in favor of Gladstone. Top of the third, Hunter Bottriff would pop one up behind the third base. And besides the sun and wind, I think we have a failure to communicate here. The ball is dropped and Clay Cole crosses the plate. It's 2-0 Braves. Kalkaska tied the score. We move to the top of the fifth where Coach Don Lauscher starts playing small ball, and on 0-2 pitch, Hunter Bottriff with a suicide squeeze bunt works as a third baseman, can't make the play. Clay Cole scores 3-2 Gladstone. Gladstone goes on to beat Kalkaska 5-3. In the other D3 semifinal matchup, Boyne City defeated Manton 10-1, but the Braves, they go on to win 7-2. They face Mason County Central on Tuesday at high noon. In Division 4 baseball, the Norway Knights would be in action against the Rudyard Bulldogs in the semifinal contest. How about top of the second inning, Norway up 3-2, and Dane Vandenheuvel gets a grounder through the gap that would score Kevin Ivasovic and Bryce Gravold. Knights led 5-2. They win 18-6 over Rudyard. Check the scoreboards out there in D4 final. And it would be the Norway Knights with a 4-1 victory to advance to Traverse City to take on Gaylord St. Mary. And Escanaba Eskimos, they fell to Fremont 2-0. In other action, you see Marquette Blues win both their games. Ishpeming loses to Menominee and Legion Baseball, and the Tigers, they beat the Yankees 6-1. And of course, for more sports scores and highlights, you can visit us online at uppermichigansource.com.
Tons of softball and baseball today.
Tons of softball and baseball. Another baseball shout out. A good friend of mine, Jared Karkuff, was drafted today. A pitcher from Austin Peay, drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 35th round. Congratulations, Iceman, you're making it.
Congratulations indeed. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.